The most painful manifestation of an open border is when an illegal alien commits a crime in this country, and Democrats and the media still either don't seem to understand that, or worse, but probably more likely, they don't care. But no matter what they say or what they do, Donald Trump has changed the Republican Party forever. There are more Trump Democrats today than there ever were Reagan Democrats in the 1980s. And I know that'll upset certain people to hear, but it's the truth. And with the rise of Donald Trump, we have witnessed the fall of the Democratic Party as we've known it for generations, my whole life. Democrats are now the party of illegal immigration and crime, the party of men playing women's sports, the party of endless war, the party of endless Pride Month, the party of weakness and really weak people, which is why Donald Trump won. Democrats are the party that isn't really a party anymore. Ask anyone you know who they think is going to run against J.D. Vance in 2028, and 20 people will give you 28 different answers, and that's a huge problem. And if an illegal alien committed just one crime in America every single year, that would still be one crime too many. But the rest of the media still don't seem to get that because it doesn't fit their narrative. They don't think it's relevant, which is why nobody thinks they're relevant anymore. And that's why Donald Trump won 7 months ago, almost to the day. Take a listen to this and let me know if you notice anything missing from these descriptions of the Colorado terrorist.
A suspect now facing 16 counts of attempted murder and federal hate crime charges for allegedly firebombing peaceful demonstrators.
I don't know why people continue to do this, but they do. And our hearts go out today to the victims of what authorities are calling a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado over the weekend. At least 8 people were injured in a makeshift flamethrower attack while gathering in support of the Israeli hostages in Gaza.
Police say a man used a makeshift flamethrower to try to set people on fire. 8 people were injured, and at least 1 person is in critical condition right now.
Okay, did you hear it there? You might have missed it. All those legacy media outlets all striking the right tone on the surface, but they all left out one very important detail. The Boulder, Colorado terrorist was an illegal alien. They left out the most important part of the story. This never should have happened in the first place because he shouldn't be here. And that's why Donald Trump won 7 months ago. But the media continue to try and find any way they can to water down what's true. People that come here are here illegally, which is why they're called illegal aliens. They aren't migrants fleeing oppression. They aren't refugees. They aren't undocumented. They're also not immigrants because they're not trying to become American citizens. Immigrants immigrate to another country to become citizens of that country. That's the definition. Joe Biden illegals are here illegally, and they are all running from the law every day. They don't want to be found, but the media are still doing everything they can to protect these people with a brand new term. The Washington Post, the New York Times, Axios, and others are all now calling illegal aliens unauthorized immigrants, instead of just calling them criminals, because that's what they are. Because the first thing they did when they crossed the border illegally was commit not just a crime, but a federal crime. The media never seem to want to call something what it is. Remember when Donald Trump first called COVID the China virus because that virus came from a lab in China.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. Comes from China. I want to be accurate.
About Chinese Americans
please,
in
John.
This country.
Please.
The aides behind you. Are you comfortable with this term?
I have great love for all of the people from our country. But as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen. Not as long as I'm president.
And that's exactly the thing. It's not racist. It's not xenophobic. It's the truth. It came from China. It came from a lab in China. Now think about what just happened there. COVID kills more than 1 million Americans. And the first instinct from that woman who works for the legacy media, who works for ABC News, is to protect China. How backwards is that? USA Today wrote about the Boulder terrorist's daughter who apparently wants to be a doctor, which is terrific for her, but she'll never get to live that dream here in the U.S. because her family is being deported, which is the right thing to do. These people are all here illegally, and your dad is a terrorist. Not only that, a modern-day Nazi. Guess what? You can go back to your country, which happens to be Kuwait, and you can be a doctor there. The White House tweeting today, 6 one-way tickets for Mohammed's wife and 5 kids, final boarding call coming soon. And the media hated that tweet today. Guess what? That's the right thing to do. But the first instinct from our own media today was to write a story about the terrorist's daughter, not the 88-year-old Holocaust survivor that her dad tried to burn to death on Sunday. That's our media, and that's why Donald Trump won. But after 7 months after Donald Trump won the White House again, the legacy media still have no interest in holding Democrats to the same standard they hold Republicans to every single day. And it's leading to their demise and a complete revolution in the way that people consume news. There was a time long ago when you'd go to the airport and CNN would be on the screen behind the bar and you'd sit down and watch, and the term fake news would not immediately come to mind. And CBS News was once the same way, the granddaddy of them all, but now look at what they have become.
Speaking of aging, there's this book that came out that talks about Joe Biden and the people around him seeing that he had cognitive and physical decline. Did you ever have a moment with him where you thought maybe he was unfit to run for president? No.
I thought he was a good president. The only concern I thought he had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86?
My goodness, Bill Clinton there. Did you ever think there was a moment Joe Biden wasn't fit to run the country? That was the question from a real live journalist. That's the question. Well, how about this for a question? Mr. President, we all knew something was wrong with Joe Biden. Why didn't you, as a former president, do anything about it? Why didn't you speak up sooner? Why didn't you help save your party? And that's why Donald Trump won. What Democrats don't realize, what they've never realized, is that Donald Trump is not a typical politician. People don't just like him or love him. He is beloved by millions of people, whether you like it or not, like we've never seen, perhaps ever before. So many people have a feeling for Donald Trump deep down in their souls. He survived 2 assassination attempts. He was arrested. They tried to put him in jail 4 times, took his mugshot. They impeached him twice. They tried to take him off the ballot. They tried to bankrupt him, and he still campaigned at McDonald's and in a trash truck with a smile, and the American people stuck with him through all of it and reelected him again, and that is why Donald Trump won.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.